Good evening, Lake Forest City Council. Can I have a motion to appoint Alderman Weber as Mayor Pro Tem for the evening?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Very aggressive.
Motion carries.
Jeez.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Monday, June 2nd, 2025 session of the Lake Forest City Council. Will the city clerk please call the roll?
Mayor Pro Tem Weber.
Here.
Alderman Novit.
Here.
Alderman Clemmons.
Here.
Alderman Notes. Here. Alderman Powers.
Here.
Alderman Levert.
Here.
Alderman Bothfeld.
Here.
Alderman Walther.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem, you have a quorum.
Thank you. Please rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The first item on the agenda this evening is comments by mayor, and we'll start off with a resolution of appreciation for retiring Superintendent of Public Works, Daniel H. Martin. Whereas Daniel H. Martin has been a dedicated employee of the City of Lake Forest since November 9th, 1992, and whereas Daniel H. Martin will honorably retire from the city on June 13th, 2025, and whereas Dan began his distinguished career with the City of Lake Forest as a full-time maintenance worker in the parks section, serving diligently for 2 years. And whereas Dan, in early 1995, was promoted to supervisor of the city's newly established building maintenance section. From its inception, Dan built and led the new section with vision and dedication. Under his leadership, the section grew to oversee daily maintenance operations and capital infrastructure planning for more than 35 city facilities. Its continued success is a testament to Dan's foundational guidance. And whereas Dan in 2011 was promoted to Superintendent of Public Works, taking on the responsibility of managing multiple operations sections of the department, including at various times, water plant, fleet, streets, water and sewer, sanitation, and building maintenance. His leadership significantly shaped the department's progress, improving service delivery and playing a pivotal role in recruiting and mentoring many of the staff members who continue to serve the city today. And whereas Dan's influence can be seen in a wide array of major capital projects, including the City Hall addition, construction of the new Municipal Services Building, and renovations to the East Train Station. He championed long-term capital planning by initiating and completing facility condition assessments for all major city buildings. His legacy includes improvements in operational efficiency, such as the replacement of filters at the water plant, installation of pressure sensors in the water system, the launch of styrofoam and battery recycling at the compost center, and the innovative Rethink Recycling campaign, Bart the Cart, to reduce contamination in recycling efforts. These accomplishments represent only a portion of Dan's broad and lasting impact. And whereas Dan was known among colleagues for his sharp wit and memorable expressions, including Katie, bar the door, phrases not only brought humor to the workplace, but also reflected his thoughtful, deliberate approach to planning and his sincere care for the city, its residents, and fellow staff members. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Lake Forest that the Council, on behalf of the administration and residents of the community, we extend our deepest appreciation and gratitude to Daniel H. Martin for public service of 32 years faithfully performed, and be it further resolved that this resolution be appropriately inscribed and conveyed to Daniel H. Martin, with a copy to be included in the official minutes of the June 2nd, 2025 meeting of the City Lake Forest Council. Thank you, Dan.
There it is. Sorry. I'll just make a couple brief comments as just to say just how big of a joy and honor it's been to serve the city. And it's truly been a privilege. As I've been cleaning out and getting ready to move on out into the next chapter of life, I was going through everything and all the different files and everything, and it's just amazed about each project that we had done over the years. It's like a chapter of the career going all the way through, and it brought back so many great memories and reflected on so many great employees as well as committees that I was able to work with and collaborate with over the years, both in the city or as staff as well as residents and other elected officials. So it's really been a pleasure. I'd like to really thank my family who's here, minus our daughter who just had her, second granddaughter yesterday. I'm still riding a little high right now. So my son Quinn and my wife, I want to thank the most as far as all the support for the last 32 years, because it really was not always easy, and she really had to step up, and it was always good to know that she was there when I was off in the middle of the night doing something or whatever, and flood calls and so on and so forth. And then just lastly, she now can realize that we can go to the barbecue across town with friends and not have to take 20 minutes to get there, because I got to drive 6 different places to check out before we got there, while we're on the way. So thank you very much. It's been an honor. Appreciate it.
I'd like to go ahead and ask for a motion to approve the resolution of appreciation. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Wonderful. Just a quick note, Dan, for you. You and I go back to graduate school days, and when we were both pursuing our MBAs, and even then, your leadership qualities were evident. And it's truly been a pleasure to work alongside you in this role as alderman, where your thoughtful approach and dedication to service really has continued to make an impact. So thank you very much. Moving on, we have another resolution of appreciation for retiring Superintendent of Parks and Forestry, Charles E. Myers. Whereas Charles E. Myers has been a dedicated employee of the City of Lake Forest since June 22nd, 2011. And whereas Charles E. Myers will honorably retire from the city on June 13th, 2025. And whereas Chuck served the City of Lake Forest as Superintendent of Parks, Forestry, and Special Facilities, providing oversight and leadership for the parks, forestry, cemetery, and golf course sections. And whereas Chuck's commitment to excellence and thoughtful management left a lasting mark on both the Public Works and Parks and Recreation departments. He played a critical role in enhancing service delivery and advanced long-range capital planning for many of the community's most valued outdoor spaces and infrastructure assets. And whereas Chuck led numerous transformative city projects, including the design and construction of Deer Path Park, golf course patio, beautification of Northwestern Avenue, and various ravine restoration efforts. He also oversaw significant improvements to Forest Park and the lakefront, including sand replenishment, the North and South Beach Access Road projects, and the recently completed Pathway project. Chuck's leadership extended to the development of master plans for both South Park and North Croft Park, as well as the creation of the city's landscape and horticulture operating section. These achievements represent only a small portion of the lasting contributions Chuck made to the city's public spaces and services. And whereas Chuck was well known among city staff for his occasionally long but always thoughtful conversations, though not always brief in his words, the message reflected deep care, insight, and a genuine commitment to the city, its residents, and his colleagues. Now, therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Lake Forest that the council, on behalf of the administration and residents of the community, we extend our sincere appreciation and gratitude to Charles E. Myers for public service of 14 years of faithful and impactful public service. Be it further resolved that this resolution be appropriately inscribed and conveyed to Charles E. Myers, with a copy to be included in the official minutes of the June 2nd, 2025 meeting of the Lake Forest City Council. May I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Great, thank you.
Thank you. I will be brief, I assure you. It has been a great privilege and an honor to serve in this wonderful community and with some incredible people along the way. So I think I'm going to have to be brief because I'm feeling a little emotion, so forgive me for that. But I do thank you for all of that, and I have been checking out a number of projects that I've been involved with. Today, as a matter of fact, I went out to Town Line, looked at the splash pad and the playground, and it was full of kids and parents, and it was a wonderful thing to see, and it reminded me of some of the great things that I've been a part of, and I am very grateful to all of you for that. I'm grateful for the opportunities and the support that you've given me over the years. So thank you to all of you. Thank you to the community. Very much appreciated.
I just wanted to share some parting words for Chuck. Chuck, you've been an instrumental leader on the Civic Beautification Committee, and I've had the pleasure of working with you for the last 5 years on that, both bringing vision, dedication, and a collaborative spirit to every project that we've worked on. And under your leadership, the committee has made significant strides in enhancing numerous public spaces throughout the City of Lake Forest, truly leaving a lasting and visible impact on our community. And it's really been a pleasure to serve alongside you. Congratulations. The next item on the agenda is comments by City Manager.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem and members of City Council. Good evening. I have 2 items under my manager's report tonight. The first is an annual tradition here at our City Council meetings, and that is the opportunity to welcome Lake Forest Preservation Foundation representatives who are here to announce this year's Preservation Award winners, which are given to property owners who have demonstrated a commitment to preserving Lake Forest's unique and cherished architectural heritage, one of the true defining features of this special community. And so here to present this year's award recipients is Preservation Foundation President Henry Kleeman. I'll welcome you to the podium.
Thank you for that very nice introduction. I'm part of your Feel Good program. We're going to continue with what we started with. I am Henry Kleeman. I'm the president of the Lake Forest Preservation Foundation, and it's my good fortune to be able to share with you our 2025 award winners. I'll grab the clicker here. We have some fabulous homes in the group here. So as many of you know, we have a number of award categories. We have some winners this year in preservation, rehabilitation, and infill. Infill is new construction. So you'll see a wonderful mix, I think, of great homes. We're going to start with the Preservation Award winners. The first one I'm going to touch on is a much beloved home in Lake Forest, I think known by many of us, 600 Westminster Road, otherwise known as Westover. Westover was originally built in the late 1890s by Charles Sumner Frost. It was built for the daughter of the president and founder of the Chicago Northwestern Railroad. Frost himself had a house next door that many of you may know called Eastover. This house has been tended to over the years by a who's who of notable architects and landscape architects, including David Adler, John Vinci, and the landscape architect Doug Hoare. It also had the good fortune to be owned by a number of great owners / stewards who took wonderful care of it over the years, and it duly was worthy of its award this year. Our next preservation award winner was 85 Sunset Place, a home some of you may know on West Park. It's my younger daughter's, one of her favorite homes in Lake Forest. This home was built in 1928. This charming colonial federal-style residence is a quintessential example of the post-World War II building boom in Lake Forest West Park neighborhood. I didn't realize this, but Sunset Drive originally had homes on both sides of the street. The city later acquired and cleared the north side to expand West Park, leaving this home on the south side like the others with treasured park front views. Again, a very worthy winner. Our next home is 380 Chiltern Drive. This home was built in 1930. It's constructed of lime-washed brick with limestone details, steel windows, and a slate-tiled roof. It reflects the most tailored and fashionable sensibility of its era. Its irregular but balanced form quickly made it one of Lake Forest's most beloved homes. The historical significance of this home is underscored by its listing on the National Register of Historic Places. And I would be remiss if I didn't mention that this home is owned by Kip Helverson and Trey Gonzalez, who are the talented duo behind the restoration of Smith's Men's Store. So their skills go beyond just their home. Moving on to our Rehabilitation Award winners, our first one is 980 North Green Bay Road, a famous Howard Van Doren Shaw home built in 1911. This home is a landmark of American arts and crafts architecture. And while the main house has long been celebrated, its handsome stable and garage complex have now been restored in the English arts and crafts style. It now takes its place among Shaw's most notable city residences. Our next home is 570 Estate Lane. This home is part of the Lasker Estate. It's also known as Horse Barn 2 because it started its life as a horse barn. It was originally designed by Adler in the 20s as one of the many Lasker Estate outbuildings. And it was converted to home use in the 1940s. I should mention that its doppelganger, Horse Barn 1, is now owned by the Preservation Foundation's Executive Director, Jennifer McGregor. Today it stands as testament to the thoughtful, adaptive reuse and stewardship of Lake Forest's architectural past. Continuing on with another Rehabilitation Award winner, this is 620 Lake Road. This was built in 1925. This Georgian Revival house blends classical tradition with the spirit of early 20th century American design. The current owners, after a decade of care, have made very thoughtful updates for modern family life, all carried out with great respect for the house's architectural integrity and significance. Moving on to our infill award winners, these are new homes, and we have some terrific ones here. Our first one is 1274 Sheridan Road. This is a house as a model of exemplary infill within the East Side historic district of the city. By matching materials, scale, and detail, the house reinforces the historic streetscape while adding to the district's ongoing vitality. And our last infill winner is 1000 Grandview Lane. This house was designed and built in 2024, very recently. And this home is an outstanding example of modern infill within South Lake Forest's rare post-war, mid-century modern enclave in Whispering Oaks. This new house fits in gracefully with its neighbors. It honors its setting while standing clearly as a product of its own time. It's important to finish with this home because it demonstrates that preservation is not only about the past, but also about extending tradition forward with care and creativity. And that wraps up the award winners for this year, 2025. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Henry, for being here, and I'd be remiss if I didn't also acknowledge the Foundation's Executive Director, Jennifer McGregor, who's here as well. She snuck in after you sat up front, yeah. So, thank you both for being here. If there are no further questions, the second item I have tonight is part of our monthly updates on the Deer Path Streetscape project. So I will invite Public Works Director Michael Thomas to the podium to provide an update on recent and upcoming activity and to answer any questions council may have. Mike?
Good, thank you. Good evening, Mayor Pro Temp, members of the City Council. I'd like to begin real quick. My personal thanks to Dan and Chuck. I worked with them for many, many years. Dan and I have worked together for 31. Chuck and I for his 14, but we had a lot of great times, and quite frankly, they are the foundation of why the department is so strong today. So truly, they both did a bang-up job. We're going to miss them. I would like to take the opportunity, though, to introduce to you their two replacements. Matt Bergioni, our street supervisor. Matt's been with the city for 14 years, standing up in the back. And Corey Werma. Corey is our city forester. Corey's going to move up to superintendent as well. He's been with the city for 27 years. Over the past 5+ years, probably closer to 7, Corey and Matt have basically run the snow program. They've done a wonderful bang-up job, but most importantly with these two guys, again, we get ownership. These guys really look at everything in the city, and they push myself and others to say, we need to, have we thought about? And that's quite frankly exactly what we want in management, in leadership, is to really take a look and see, are there things we can do better, and ask ourselves if they are, then let's do it. Why not? So kudos to both of them. You guys can sit. We're looking forward to working with them. Byron is off tonight, so I'm going to take the Deer Path Streetscape. We're going to start, as we always do, with the video. Bank Lane heading north, bringing it back to the two-way that we had. Excavation, removal of the light poles. The electrical conduit. Drone Nation. So things are going well. Things are going as scheduled. We really have not had too many surprises. What we refer to as submittals, things that are going to go physically be placed in the project, need to be reviewed and approved by IDOT. Those have all been approved, which is wonderful. Recent work, sidewalk removal, as you can see, the electrical conduit is going in. We've had a little bit more storm sewer and catch basin work that they actually completed today closer to Walgreens. Work coming up, we're going to continue to install the electrical conduit. The sidewalk, we're going to continue on both sides to remove all of that. Today they actually began installation of the irrigation system, and then what we call the base course for the structural soil. So structural soil is going to go into the planting beds, but we need something underneath it to support it. So that material is going in, and then soon they will be going to begin the bump outs, what we call, that will narrow some of the portions of Deer Path. But everything so far is going well. You can see the picture on the right, more, I guess, an access point for pedestrians, that we had a few hiccups later in the last week, but Bernard was all over it, and they did a good job getting all this rectified. General updates, we'll obviously continue to monitor all the detours and the traffic signals. We had one of the batteries run out at Westminster and Green Bay. It wasn't getting enough sun, so we had that changed this weekend. The team with Dana Olson, they'll continue in Bernard to walk in, meet with the businesses daily, and as we found with the water main installation, that really is important. Even though there may not be any updates whatsoever, with Bernard especially going into those businesses on a regular basis and just keeping touch and saying, we're going to be putting material in front of your store tomorrow. Things like that they appreciate. Dana is working with the Chamber of Commerce and having regular communications with them. And then part of the requirement with the IDOT project is to have field hours or an open house to visit the IDOT engineer. So their office is at the 222 Wisconsin building, right at the end of Bank and Wisconsin. They're up on the 3rd floor, so if anybody ever has any questions, they can at least go and talk and ask about those. Dana and the communications team have put together a number of these to start off with Meet the Engineers. So Once Upon a Bagel is going to be providing bagels, and our engineering staff is going to be out on site on the 12th from 10 to 11:30 right outside here at City Hall. Again, they know the ins and outs of the project and happy to talk with residents as they come by. Jumping on to Bank Lane, as you remember at your last city council meeting, you approved the contract. We had our what we call pre-construction meeting with the contractor. The overnight work is still scheduled, again, anywhere from 15 to 20 days. It won't be 15 straight. We'll have a number and then they'll pull off, and once they get into the street work, they'll jump back on. But we are postponing the work to start 1 week. Rather than June 9th, it's June 16th, and it's because of this. The brick that is going in, Unilock brick, the material that we ordered, the next time they are doing their run of that material with that color is at the end of this month. So what we were nervous about is tearing up Bank and then sitting there for 3 weeks and not having any material and people looking at us saying, well, why'd you tear up Bank? So we've pushed it off 1 week because the other side to that, the opposite side, is when you dig, you always find something that you didn't anticipate. And we want to leave some room for the oops, we didn't know that was below us. So that, and then next week, Dana and the engineering team are going to have a drop-in session with the businesses on Bank Lane so they can learn more about the project and how things will proceed this summer. So far, so good. We really have not had many hiccups, and we again thank all the residents and yourselves for all your patience. We will get there, promise. So with that, happy to answer any questions you may have. Other project. Okay.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem. That concludes my report for this evening.
Thank you. The next item of business is opportunity for citizens to address the city council. We can do it now or at new business. Please feel free. If you'll come up, state your name and your address, and we have 3 minutes. Thank you.
Hey, hi there. My name's Joanne Desmond. I live at 1681 Yale Court in Lake Forest. Under the new business item on the agenda, I would like to request that the City Council not suspend the Lake Forest Public Education and Government Access Cable Channel as recommended, and invest in the $3,360 to upgrade the equipment to make it fully functional. As you may be aware, 1/4 of Lake Forest residents qualify as seniors over 65 years of age. This is a population most impacted by this recommendation. As a senior citizen myself, and serving on the Lake Forest Lake Bluff Senior Citizens Foundation, the Library Board, and on the Deerfield Township Dementia Friendly Community Committee, I am aware of many seniors whose only access to watch city meetings is through cable TV. I'm speaking for those seniors, many of whom are uncomfortable using computers to stream meetings, or who are unwell, living independently or with assistance, and would not otherwise be able to participate in their local government if they did not have access to cable. On a personal note, my husband, who passed away over a year ago, found cable TV access to city and Lake County meetings to be a rewarding way to pass his days and feel connected when he was not well. I know there are many seniors unable to enjoy active lives and who do not have adequate technology skills. Many of these seniors enjoy the company of cable TV and would feel further disenfranchised from our city government if they did not have access to these meetings in a way that they are most comfortable. It is a small price to pay for our seniors. Many of whom have lived in Lake Forest for many, many years. Thank you for your attention.
Moving on, we'll start on committee reports, which there are none. Yes, we have another. Oh, please come up, state your name and address if you choose. Thank you.
Polypositive again in Lake Forest, or polypondering. Anyway, Mayor Pro Tem and council members, thank you for this opportunity. I just wanted to say what a fabulous job the new website is. And I know a lot of hard work went into that. I've been in those situations, so I wanted to say that, number one. And number two, again, the great job with Chat with the Chiefs. There was a surprise visitor of our new puppy, Winston, so it was really well done and very fun. So that's it for today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any others? Great. Committee reports, we have none this evening. Our next item would be items for omnibus vote consideration. I'll go ahead and read the items. If there are any council members that would like something removed or taken separately, we can do so at that time. Item 1, approval of the check register for the period April 20th to May 17th, 2025. Item 2, consideration of a request to waive the fidelity bond requirement in connection with holding a raffle in the city of Lake Forest for the McClintock Post 264 American Legion. Approval by motion. Approval to extend the city's office supplies contract with Warehouse Direct through May 31st, 2026, as determined by the Suburban Purchasing Cooperative of the Northwest Municipal Conference. Item 4, request to approve the purchase of a replacement ambulance by ARV Inc., not to exceed amount of $323,076.14. Item 5, award of bid to Era Valdivia for the elevated tank spot painting project in the amount of $88,000, and approval and agreement with KLM Engineering, Inc. for project management services in the amount of $12,300 to include a 15% contingency or $13,200 for a total cost of $113,500. And item 6, award of bid to FabTech Wastewater Solutions for water plant air handling cooling coil project in the amount of $44,000 to include a 10% or $4,400 contingency for a total cost of $48,400. Is there any item that a council member would like to be removed, taken separate? Seeing none, I'll ask for a motion to approve the 6 omnibus items as presented.
So moved.
And all in, will the city clerk please roll call vote?
Certainly. Alderman Novit?
Aye.
Alderman Clemmons?
Aye.
Alderman Notes? Aye. Alderman Powers?
Aye.
Alderman Levert?
Aye.
Alderman Bothfeld?
Aye.
Alderman Weber?
Aye.
Alderman Walder?
Aye.
8 yea, 0 nay, motion carries.
The next item on the agenda is old business, which we have none of this evening. The next item is new business. And tonight's new business, we'll introduce Carrie Kopp, Assistant to the City Manager. And this is to authorize the city managers to suspend the Lake Forest Public Education and Government, PEG, access cable channel as provided in the Comcast franchise agreement.
Thank you, Mayor Pro Tem and City Council. Tonight, we're asking you to provide direction to staff on whether to continue maintaining the public education and government access channel or whether to suspend it. We recognize that it's prudent for us to periodically review our communication tools and ensure that we are focusing on those mediums that have the greatest reach and impact, while also maintaining transparency and eliminating redundancy. So by way of background, the city has provided the PEG channel through our Comcast franchise agreement at no cost. However, we are responsible for the cost of managing and upgrading equipment associated with the channel. We currently only use the channel to broadcast 3 public meetings: City Council, Plan Commission, and Finance Committee. Those meetings are also live streamed on our website and on our YouTube channel. Additionally, meetings are not rebroadcast on the cable channel. They are only directed to links on the website for on-demand videos, again, through the website or the YouTube channel. Finally, when no meetings are streaming on the broadcast on the cable channel, there are informational slides that continuously scroll across the cable channel, but those are used to fill airtime essentially. So anything that is on the PEG channel is also available on the city's website. As council is aware, the AV system in this room was upgraded beginning in December 2024. And while that upgrade, it resulted in improvements for our streaming services and for the quality of the sound and the video in here, what it didn't do is improve the quality that goes out on the cable broadcast. And that's because we don't have control over the quality that goes out on the broadcast. That's a Comcast directed issue. And so right now, what we have are compatibility issues between our AV system and the cable channel. Specifically, we currently need to update the HDMI to SDI converters. They need to be replaced, and that will allow the informational slides to go out on the broadcast. We also have to replace the battery backup that's at the end of its useful life. And so for your information, the scrolling slide deck has not played in several weeks because of these issues. We have not to date received any complaints about that issue. So at this point, given the current status of the necessary resources we need to put in, staff thought this would be an opportunity to bring this forth to council, take a holistic look at our communication channels, and identify if continuing the PEG channel makes sense at this juncture, given its poor quality and antiquated nature, and the change in our residents' habits for how they obtain information from the city. So we did ask Comcast for metrics on PEG channel viewership, and that's not something they keep track of, and they were not able to provide that. So we looked at the 2023 community-wide survey to determine viewership habits. You can see at the bottom of this chart here, only 1% of survey respondents identified that they use the PEG channel to obtain information from the city as either their first, second, or third choice. And that 1% is representative of 14 people. Conversely, 54% of people stated that they use the city's website, or 59% of people said that they utilize the e-newsletter to get information about the city. That e-newsletter currently reaches approximately 12,000 subscribers, and it does have links to the live stream meetings available in that publication. Also, it's important to note that we did not broadcast the last city council meeting on May 19th on the cable channel, and we received no complaints or calls from residents. We also looked to see what our neighbors are doing in similar situations, and Comcast provided data stating that Glenview, Highwood, Lincolnshire, Lindenhurst, and Winnetka have all recently suspended their PEG channels. Communities that are currently maintaining their channels include Deerfield, Highland Park, Zion, and Lake County. And so for next steps, if council were to authorize the city manager to suspend the PEG channel, staff would take the following steps before the channel goes off the air. First, we would be communicating the suspension of the channel in the e-news and ensure our residents understand that the live stream will still continue on both the city's website and the YouTube channel. We would also continue to add our links to our public meetings to the e-news that goes out, and then we would also add the links to our on-demand videos after they happen. And finally, staff is willing to offer in-person training to anyone who needs assistance with understanding where the access is to the meetings on the website or the YouTube channel. And finally, just a note, because we're not changing the franchise agreement in this situation, we would be able to resume the cable channel if we so chose in the future. But we believe that making this change would enable us to direct our resources to mediums that are most utilized by our residents and maintain transparency while we're eliminating that redundancy. And so with that, I'll take any questions you may have.
Open up for questions.
Is this council meeting being streamed?
This one is being streamed and broadcast on the cable, yes.
Okay. But part of the problem is you don't know how many people are really watching.
That's correct. So Comcast does not keep metrics on PEG viewership. So last week, by choice, we chose not to broadcast it on the channel to see what kind of feedback we got, and we received none.
All right. One thing I'd offer is anybody watching out there, let us know. So you can text my cell phone or call me, 847-338-4838, and let's see if anybody responds or see how many respond so we get some idea if anybody's out there. Just informal, it's not a real survey per se.
Sure.
But again, 847-338-4838.
Ted?
It's not a question. It's really more of a statement. I haven't watched this channel in years, and my last recollection is the quality was so bad. I mean, it really was a deterrent to even want. I mean, you couldn't see anyone sitting here. I mean, the quality was so poor that I don't think it was really doing a service to anybody. And I think staff has come up with enough easily viable and accessible options for residents in the staff's offer to help advise and direct residents who may not be technologically up to speed on how those mediums work, I think is a great solution to bridge that gap.
Carrie, thank you. Very informative. Appreciate it very much. We can't afford not to do this. It's $3,400. I think the mistake is when we redid this, which was a rather costly project, that should have been included in it. I don't watch the cable channel. I agree the quality isn't great, but I just don't think with everything we're trying to do in terms of communication, and Dana's team is fantastic in terms of getting everything out, pushing it out. If there are a handful of people that still use this, that want to stay connected, I think it's worth the investment. Thanks.
Alderman Novit?
I agree with Alderman Powers. I think it's an important tool that there are people that, I mean, I watch them. My husband watches it. I can't. I think it's easier for people who know how to turn on Channel 17 to turn on Channel 17 than to go to the website and look for the stream and take extra steps that are not intuitive steps. And especially for the seniors who know the way they know and don't want to have to go through the machinations of learning a new way to do it. I think communication is vitally important. The more we show people what we're doing, the more they trust us about what we're doing, and the less reason there is for anyone to question what we're doing. I think it's important, and I think we should keep it.
Did you? Alderman Levert?
I too am in support of keeping it. I think it's important that somebody came tonight to speak up on behalf of those that use it and had firsthand experience of a situation where it really added to the quality of life and the ability to stay current on what's going on in Lake Forest. I don't think it's a big cost issue, so I just don't see the need to eliminate it yet until we learn more about maybe the users out there. But for now, I think it should stay.
Alderman Balther?
I don't find the cost to be a limiting factor here, but one of my concerns is if we're going to make this change, which frankly I actually think it's a positive thing, but this will allow us to train our community to use the live stream solution, because one of the things that we might find ourselves in, right? This room is very small. How nice would it be to host a big meeting at the new police facility is sometime in the future where they may not have the ability to broadcast over the TV. And I don't know, Carrie, maybe you can comment on that, whether or not the new facility will have that capability. But if the ability to live stream is really available there, we could have had the Deer Path Art League and all their family members, 120 people or so at that meeting, and all enjoy it, and their grandparents from remotely watch it. So my question to you, I guess, Carrie, is when meetings are held outside of the city council building right now, they're not on TV. No meetings at municipal services, no meetings at the new police facility. What will the future hold for those two locations in terms of TV coverage?
Correct. So anything that's held outside of these chambers would not be on the cable channel. As of right now, in order to ensure that it is on the cable channel, we would have to make sure we're installing the proper equipment and everything that we need to put it out onto our channel. And I don't know how feasible that is. I would have to look into that with Comcast to know that for certain.
Alderman Novit?
I'm sorry, I'm just leading off of what Rich said, but we can broadcast, if we tape a meeting, we can put it up on the Channel 17 channel, right?
So
it doesn't have to be a live feed.
Correct. The only thing that is live are these 3 meetings held here.
Right.
But yes, we could put other content on the channel if it was recorded.
So I have a further question then along those lines. We used to watch the Lake Forest Day Parade on the channel. We used to watch the dance recitals from the Rec Center dance program on the channel. We've watched other community events on the channel. And I'm wondering if there's a way we can utilize the channel to make better content, more content of things that already exist, but just aren't put up on the channel anymore.
So we utilize mostly our YouTube and our social media and things where we get that heavier engagement and the better quality going out rather than the cable broadcast. And I think it's more of a separate conversation as to what we want to put on the cable channel. If we're keeping it for the purpose of tonight, I think we wanted to get the council's direction and opinion on whether or not to keep it before we go into any further conversation.
I have a couple of questions. The first is, how much dead air time is actually being just siphoned, through? We've got, say, how many meetings a month? 6 meetings that are being, that are being broadcast?
If that. So we have our
only live.
Correct. Live, we have our 2 city council meetings a month. If there's finance committee right before that, it's essentially the same meeting. And then plan commission. And Kathy could speak to it better than I can, but I know that often plan commission is canceled if there's no business. So a handful of times throughout the year. Beyond that, we are filling with the informational slides. And we don't regularly update those slides either.
My second question is, with the new technology and people moving away from Comcast simply because of a cost issue. So we had someone speak about seniors watching, that this is their means for communication, but is Comcast almost pricing out that demographic group because it's so expensive? Or is the cable access channel part of a basic package? I guess that's what I'm trying to understand.
Yeah, the cable access is part of the basic package. Okay. And I can't speak to the prices that Comcast is offering at this time. We did ask them if they had metrics even on subscribership in Lake Forest, and they did not provide that either. It's proprietary to them.
And if residents were moving away from Comcast and moving towards things like Amazon Fire Sticks or Hulu or other type of TV options, Channel 17 is not included in those services?
Correct.
Okay. Do we know at Lake Forest Place what type of cable is provided at that location? I'm just thinking of an area of where there's a large group of residents. It's individual subscriptions? Okay. So when I think about the future of cable TV, for someone who actually used to have a show on Channel 17 inside Lake Forest, still on YouTube if you'd like to see me from about 15 years ago, let's step inside. What's driving, I mean, I do like Alderman Walther's perspective of when there's a change, an opportunity to really teach people and educate people about what options are moving forward. I can only speak at our ward meeting. We always ask how people heard about the meeting, and it's generally the website, the e-news, and the dialogue. Do any of you aldermen get feedback on that? I'm just curious.
My comment is really pertaining to, I don't think anybody goes to Channel 17 for information. They go to watch a meeting. And when there's an important meeting for historic preservation, sometimes those meetings are broadcast on Channel 17. That's where I watch them. And I really think this is a matter of realizing that people have prescribed habits and prescribed ways of getting information. In this instance, watching meetings. You don't go to, I wouldn't go to Channel 17 to find out when garbage pickup is. That's a website question. But to watch a meeting, which I think is a very different question than where do you get your information, I think Channel 17 is where people who have always gone to Channel 17 will go to find a meeting.
I think the question on the table really is, though, what percentage of residents are doing that? Because I can tell you my constituents are not. And I'm just saying, you know.
I think though our constituents are. There's a sheet, it was mentioned,
Yeah.
If it's true, 25% of the community is probably watching it, and a large part of that would be where we happen to live.
And I could just jump in. I think part of what drove the staff discussion is just recognizing the contrast and the quality of the video and audio production. We know at this point that the Channel 17 option is a simply inferior quality product and a viewing experience. And certainly our, I think, preference is to drive people towards the higher quality option. Having said that, this is not a strong staff recommendation. So if there doesn't seem to be a strong consensus on the council to remove it, it is a fairly immaterial expense. It wasn't just being driven by cost considerations. It was really about optimizing the more efficient and effective technology to provide a better user experience for residents. But again, fairly simple for us to continue on with Channel 17 at this point. If there doesn't seem to be a strong consensus amongst the council to get rid of it, and we can continue to do that while, of course, still encouraging residents who are newer to the community, getting engaged with the city to utilize, I think, what is clearly the superior platform for viewing our meetings.
Great. Well, I'll ask if there's any additional public comment on this subject that we haven't heard already. Please step up.
Thank you so much. Actually, I don't use cable. I dropped it years ago. I use a service called Roku, and I use the web. However, a lot of people still like this, and if we can just split the difference, like keep it and have people visit the seniors and train them on using the website, that would kind of help. But I know a lot of seniors, and they're not technically smart. In fact, they just think keeping the window, opening windows means open the window, not just on the computer, right? So it's a running joke with most of people I know. So I would like to see it, even though the quality isn't great, if we have 25% of the population who are seniors, most of them are using cable, I'm guessing. Some of them are not, but it's not a big expense considering everything else we expend. So, thank you.
Please come up.
Since I have a second opportunity to say something, I do know very, very many seniors who use cable, and as much as even I would like to teach them how to stream on their computers, they don't want to look at something this big. They want their TV, they know how to use their channels, they don't want to do anything else. And I know the quality isn't that great. I'm hoping it might even be better when you improve the equipment, but I would like to see, I know some seniors, and many seniors, because I'm at Dickinson Hall a lot. I know a lot of seniors, a lot of neighbors that sit in front of their TV. You could use that Channel 17 in many productive ways as just one more vehicle to reach more people that maybe can't get out of their house. They're not going to be calling to tell you that they didn't see a meeting on TV. They're not going to be calling you. They just aren't going to do that. But they want to be part of this community. They are part of this community. And by you allowing them the opportunity to turn their TV on and see something about the city makes them feel a bigger part. And it's not a big cost, I don't believe, for our city. So thank you for your willingness to consider those people that may not be here to ask for this. Thank you.
Well, I'm not really seeing a consensus here on one way or the other, so I think we'll continue with the
Yeah, I think we'll-
motion at this point.
No, I don't think so. Again, the dollar amounts well within staff spending authority. We don't need council action on that. It was really just seeking direction. The only point I'll make, just for clarification, so it's understood, these upgrades are really just to keep the system operational. It doesn't impact the quality of the production. We have no control over that. So I don't want to set false hopes that the quality of the video or audio is going to be improved. It won't. This will effectively just keep the lights on. But again, based on conversation this evening, happy to move forward with that and keep it going.
Carrie, thank you for the information.
Thank you.
At this point, we ask if there are any additional items for discussion by council members. I just wanted to mention that there is a special event on Friday, June 6th, Meet the Fleet, from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at our Municipal Services Building. I know that's a really popular place for families, grandparents bringing their grandkids and children. They just love going out there. I know you will find me out there as well with my sons. Without any others, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn the meeting. Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. Thank you so much.